Hey guys, Matt Dog here with another video. We're back to Master 5. This time we're using ToyBox Eldlich with a fun new card. First we're going to go up against Yubel. So there's a new trap in the game that I only recently learned about called like the Black Goat. Uh, I can't even remember what its name. Something about the black goat. But basically, you activate this trap, and your opponent can't special summon that monster for the rest of the turn. And it has a graveyard effect where you can basically banish it and say that a certain monster can't activate its effects for the rest of the turn. So it's just a nice, useful additional card to throw into these mill decks. Like I like to run Eldlich at a 60 card pile. So when you activate grass, you send a bunch of cards to the grave. It's nice that there's a trap that has a really powerful field effect. You know, it's like a really strong floodgate if you use it correctly. But also, if you mill it to the graveyard, it has a decent effect as well. Like it's almost like an imperm. Like you activate it, and that opponent's monster can't do anything, so either have to respond as if you activated an imperm, or it's effectively negated. Going first, though, we activate Lord just to burn 800 life points and to activate a monster effect. Alright, so we've got Grass. What are we going to grab? Evenly Matched and Rollback, probably. Yeah, this is classic. Goodbye. Now we activate the ToyBox engine. We probably milled an Eldlich to grave, right? Let's see. Yep, there's an Eldlich in grave. But regardless, we have multiple toy boxes, which means we can get the full defensive setup. And we can also use okay, so there we used the toy tank, its ability to send itself to the grave to grab back a Magician's Souls, and then we can use some of the excess spell cards we're starting to have to draw even more cards. And obviously we drew it to Talent, which is going to get us another draw too. So this is kind of an example of a game where we're just like popping the heck off. And now we get to make Salid, which summons out a Diabellstar. Diabellstar sets up an Omni Negate. Alright, we're gonna summon out Eldlich. We don't really need the toy box package that much anymore, now that we have a ton of cards that we've drawn. Banish that. Okay. So they actually had a really good starter in their hands. We just say, yeah, get rid of it. We already had so many cards, we don't need to draw more. So full. So look at this. Oh, we literally, it was like a turn one Yubel. That's kind of the full setup. You know, the Link 2 that bounces, the pop, everything. And we had like 11 cards, Omni Negates, Floodgates. Oh my gosh. So that's part of why I really like this version of Eldlich as opposed to some other versions, because there's just a ton of gas. It's just a fun way to play. All right, game number 2 is Tearlament. Okay, Tearlament obviously has gotten a bit of a resurgence because of the, like, Jesse Cotton had that amazing Tearlament deck that he was able to win the world championship with. Um, I actually was rooting for Jesse Cotton, which means that I got a royal rare, ultra rare card. Yeah, there it is. This is what I got for rooting for Jesse Cotton, a royal rare Ninja Shadow Mosquito. Because we run a bunch of Paleozoic cards, we're able to make it. So it's kind of a nice one-turn kill option. For now, though, we have like the full one-turn setup, which is basically ToyBox plus an Eldlich. Using that, you're able to summon back the Toy Soldier, who searches out your barrier statue, so locking them into summoning light monsters. By summoning both of your level 4s, you're able to make Bagooska. So we have pretty searchable skill drain, can't attack, and a light barrier statue. And even if they make a Link 2 to try to hit us, the toy box can just destroy one card that attacks us. Alright, so they are popping off a bit. What are they gonna do? Okay, add Rhino Heart. No cards in our grave yet. Because we have 2 Paleozoic Marrellas, assuming they don't have an Ash Blossom, we can send both Elemental Burst and Rollback to grave. Yeah, so they can't do anything. We destroyed Big reason I destroyed the field spell is because I don't want them to get a shuffler in the grave and then it can start popping cards. Don't need to deal with that. So here we still have the light barrier statue in defense mode, but we do attack to make a Zeus. And honestly, I don't know if this was a mistake or not. I doubt it, but our opponent does have really good hands. They're going to be able to break through our board. No, now that I think about it, they would have been able to break through whether it was Bagooska or not. Okay, but you know, still looking pretty good. So they have we have a rollback engrave, which could copy this basically Omni Negate card, or we could send an Elemental Burst to blow up all the cards they have. Can't summon anything but light monsters. A Zeus as kind of a last resort. ToyBox can destroy anyone that they normal summon. Okay. So here they use Forbidden Droplet. So it doesn't target, so I don't know if they're going for Light Barrier Statue or Zeus. They only send one card, so it's not really that much of a... Like, if they sent two cards, I would definitely roll back, copy Betrayal, negate it. But because it's only one card, I don't want to trade one for one. So I'm like, okay, you can negate one, but the other's going to be a real pain. I knew that they had a Fenrir, so at this point I don't want them to... Oh, I think this was a mistake, wasn't it? Yeah, okay, so I forgot that they already have Kashtira Tearlament in the graveyard. I didn't want him to activate his effect that adds it to hand, because then he just has more abilities to mill cards to the grave. So I'll make a mistake here in a second. But anyways, he summons Fenrir, so activating a monster effect is a little dangerous. We send Elemental Burst. He's going to flip over Zeus, which, you know, means that I won't be able to send cards to the grave. And I still have plenty of other cards on the field, so using Zeus probably costs me more than it costs him. Here I choose to use Transaction Rollback to copy Elemental Burst to blow these cards up. He doesn't have enough cards to summon Snow again. He can't search out Tearlament Kashtira, but it's obviously already in the grave, so that really didn't matter. And he wouldn't be able to summon out Destrudo. So, like, there is some merit to using Rollback here, but it's kind of a lesson of these types of control decks is you have to be very careful about when you activate, because we knew that he had searched out a Rhino Heart on the previous turn, so now he's basically got full combo, and I'm out of interruptions, so I just have to hope that he isn't able to destroy everything off of having a single Rhino Heart. Like, this is all what he gets off of normal summoning Rhino Heart with me not being able to stop him. Or he's got a Shuffler. Yikes. Yeah. Okay, they're going to shuffle one of our monsters back. They get rid of our Eldlich, which makes sense. You don't want him doing stuff in the grave. You have to destroy that. Not sure why I didn't use ToyBox. Oh, I know. So I didn't use ToyBox to destroy Kaleido Heart, because he would just summon himself back, send another card from their deck to the grave, searching them out like a spell or a trap or something, and then he gets to attack again. So instead, I'm waiting for him to attack with Time Thief or Kashtira to destroy them with ToyBox. But obviously he is smart, he knows what ToyBox does, so he chooses not to attack anymore, so I don't get to destroy anything. Fine. End phase. I'm trying to summon out a couple cards. Both of my Marellas. He stops it, but at least we have another Eldlich in rotation, and he doesn't have any more Shufflers. He does have a Snow, though. Okay, he only adds a spell card, so he just gets to draw. Force the Snow out now. Okay, so as long as we don't destroy his Snow, we don't have to worry about it anymore. We can flip it back this turn. Okay, so he doesn't get to do the draw effect or the send Rhino Heart to grave effect because we interrupted it with SP Little Knight, and we banished Kaleido Heart permanently unless he sends that one trap to grave that puts it back in his extra deck. So he is hurting for resources. Okay, now what do? We use Eldlich, he comes back, use Toy Soldier as fuel. Toy Soldier is just going to grab another ToyBox. Destroys that. Destroys that. We're going to leave the Fairy Tale Snow on the field just so that we know what we're dealing with. Alright, we have an SP Little Knight, but he has a Time Thief Redoer. And if possible, I really don't want his Time Thief Redoer to grab a trap from my deck. He has his own SP Little Knight. Didn't use any extra deck monsters, so he doesn't banish. Alright, in that case, he does get Eldlich off the field, though, so I can't banish his one fusion monster. So that's rough. We still have a Zeus, 2-material Zeus, though. But unfortunately, they gain a bunch of effects from getting sent to the grave. Alright, mill another 8 cards. Mill 11 cards? That's so bold, dude. 2 cards left. He shuffles 1 back into his extra deck. So now he has a summon negate. So she does come back, but they don't have any other cards. And they weren't able to gain anything else from their other cards being sent to the grave. They only have 3 cards in their deck, so they can't search cards out from their deck. And one of their shufflers is already gone. They do have 1 more shuffler, though. Okay. We both have SPs. Okay. How are we going to do this? Force the SP out now. Okay, so he does have a summon negate. Okay, so he's going to try to flip over Magician Souls. Alright, that's too bad. ToyBox, activate its effect. So now when they attack us, we can destroy them. And because we already sent Tearlements Rucalis to the grave once with ToyBox, the next time it gets sent to the grave, she's not coming back. And we have Karma Cannon to stall out for a turn. So it was really impressive how they were able to use so many cards in their deck and send them to the grave, but now they're in trouble. That being said, he does have a trap attached, so we can bounce one of our cards. Okay, in that case, he decided to bounce SP instead of ToyBox, which does mean ToyBox effects resolves and we destroy his Time Thief Redoer. So that's nice that one of those resources isn't coming back. Alright, they negated my Toy Soldier. We send SP Little Knight, who already activated her effect, and because this card already attacked, that she doesn't get to flip herself back face up. So we're super good now. Or are we? He's going to shuffle some of his cards from his extra deck back, and he makes Time Thief redo her again. Okay. Well, at least we grab another Eldlixir, so we can search out an interruption on their turn. They attach a trap. That really sucks. He shuffles Magician Souls back. Man, he just hates Magician Souls. He's like, I do not want them to use it. Okay. Oh my gosh, and now they're going to use Snow to flip it face down. I don't know why he's so afraid of it. Whatever. Now we get to make this really fun card, Dreadnought. The reason I activate this effect there is just because I want one of my Eldliches to be in the grave. He sets ToyBox. ToyBox grabs the Light Barrier statue, baby. Destroy, destroy, stay there. Obviously, Light Barrier statue doesn't prevent Snow from summoning herself back, but whatever. And now if they try to attack us, we can destroy their card. How many cards in their grave? Not many. Ooh, they did not grab a trap. Okay. Destroyed. Yeah, he would have to banish like everything he has in order to get rid of the Light Barrier statue. Special summon that out. Whoa! Dude, why are you... That's so bold. Sends all 3 cards of his deck to the grave. So he can make 1, but he just makes Dracostapelia, Zeus. It does manage to send everything to the grave. We try to make ourselves unaffected, but he negates it with Dracostapelia. However, we still had our ToyBox cards, so Toy Tank comes back. Man, see, this is what I enjoy. Another reason I enjoy the ToyBox package is it just gives you so much flexibility. Okay, so they do manage to summon out Snow one final time, and we activate Grass. So we got multiple copies of Rollback. Whoa, so now we only have 1 card too. Tantalizing Tune, though, does put one of our Eldlixirs back in the deck just for extra draw power. Blow up all cards they have. They have 1 card left and we have 2. And they have 3 cards in their graveyard. GG. Yeah, so that's the kind of really fun, interactive, back and forth gameplay you can get with this type of deck. And it's like the reason I like ToyBox is that it has so many resources that allow you to keep coming back. Okay, another Tearlements deck. Okay, so even though Tearlement is like probably our toughest matchup, I guess I really enjoy the gameplay against them. Like I don't want them to help Tearlement anymore. Like I don't want any of their cards to get less limited than they already are. But they're at a state now where it's kind of like they could be like tier two and kind of make plays, especially if you're skilled. And there is something about how interactive and skillful the gameplay generally is, or maybe to the like degenerate gamble type of mindset. I don't know. I'm having fun. Okay, so they're going off. They're doing their thing. We do have Thrust, which obviously is going to absolutely pop off. The only hand trap we really care about in this deck is Ash Blossom. Like, we don't care about Max Z, we don't care about Imperm, anything. Yeah, Max Z does not matter at all. All we want to do is to try to bait out. So we had, okay, so we knew that they had searched out this Omni Negate. So before I try to activate Grass, like that is kind of my win condition going second right now. I needed to get rid of the Omni Negate, so we target a random one, and they use the Omni Negate to stop us. Okay. Use a Shuffler. That's fine. We're just like making sure that they activate a monster effect during our main phase. So here what I did was I set my other cards to try to imply that if after I draw two, it's going to be the end of my turn. I really want them to activate an Ash Blossom if they have it. Apparently they don't. So I think we're good to go with Thrust now. Okay. Rollback, rollback. Obviously we can't evenly match them because we bluffed and stuff. But we can Elemental Burst them, I'm pretty sure. Can we? What do we have? We have Karma Cannon. We have, oh, here's the card. The Black Goat Laughs. Yeah, so in that case, I activated the Black Goat Laughs. You do have to activate it before the monster is on the field to make sure that they can't, because it only prevents the card from activating, it doesn't negate its effects. But in this case, it limits them. Like, they can't make a huge boss monster and then start bouncing my cards and summoning back from the grave. Okay, yeah, we did have an Elemental Burst. So they use Super Poly, sure. Alright, we've got Marrella mostly as a backup defense. And we banished the card that was going to let them summon. They sent more cards to grave. We still had tons of fuel, right? We still had a Karma Cannon. We still had a Solemn Strike. Yeah, they were in big trouble. Honestly, that was a case where the Black Goat Laughs was like probably extra. Like I probably could have waited until I knew they were about to fuse to use it, but whatever. All right, duel number 4 versus Stun. 7 turns. Okay, so this stun player actually is gonna stun us for a little bit, or maybe we'll stun them a little bit. I don't know, we'll see. Okay. Going first. Alright, we've got Eldlich plus ToyBox, so that is full combo. Toy Soldier, Toy Tank. In this case, we could also use Diabellstar to get an Omni Negate and a Search. In that case, we didn't have any good traps to get rid of, so it did cost us a Solemn Strike. But it's like, you can either get Solemn Strike or you get Bagooska. It's a trade-off. Activate Lord of Heavenly Prison. Obviously, Light Barrier Statue does conflict with Lord of Heavenly Prison a bit, but whatever. Alright, they don't destroy all our cards. Okay, they summon Jowgen. And we can't attack it by battle because of Moon Mirror Shield. So all we need to do is to have a spell card in our hand. Then we could use Eldlich, send one of these spells to grave, and then send whatever spell is in our hand to grave to target and send. Bagooska keeping them from attacking is really helpful. Alright, perfect, we're ready to go. First, Toy Soldier. Add to hand. Get rid of Elemental Burst to get rid of Jowgen. Unfortunately, they do have the other one. Keep activating Lord, because why not? So now we know one of those cards is Moon Mirror Shield. And then there's this card. Bagooska is still keeping them from attacking, which is nice. Alright, we did draw a spell. In this case, we're just going to activate it. If we hit rollback plus like a Karma Cannon or Elemental Burst, we're going to be good. So we destroy all cards in control, and we don't even bother like seeing what the other cards resolve as. Yeah, poor stun deck. Yeah, I was able to climb super quickly. Like you saw in my previous duel, previous video, I was at like Diamond 4, Diamond 5 or whatever. Yeah, I got Diamond 1 and then Master 5 super quick with this deck. Okay, last one against, ooh, a Royal Rare Fire King Snake Eyes. So it seems like they always just run one of this card that blows up stuff. Usually because they can kill you pretty quickly. This guy enables the one-turn kill. Okay. Runs Gamma, interesting. Okay, alright. Let's do it. Yeah, so obviously Fire King Snake Eye is the premier deck right now. I feel like Yubel, like we have a really strong matchup against Yubel, so I'm never really intimidated by them. Like the way that we deal with them is just having a bunch of traps means that we're not susceptible to having one monster with 1500 defense or something, and then them just being able to kill us by attacking it with 4 monsters with 0 attack. We could just flip a Karma Cannon and keep surviving for a few turns until we grind out a win. So because of that, I feel like Snake Eyes is harder of the two tier 1 decks. He makes IP, and then, oh, I see, because he's going to get the snake. Okay. So what have we got here? We've got a Princess in Grave. We've got a Linkuriboh in Grave. So, not great. They have a Monster Negate, so if we draw into a Eldlich, that's not good. And then they have Ambler Whale. Okay, so we can't do anything to trigger either of these spell cards, unfortunately. If they'd done that during the main phase, it would have been a huge mistake. But they wait till the end phase, they're good. Okay, so they're going to start popping off. They can destroy 1 card if one of their level 3 or lower traps gets destroyed. Send a rollback. Send a second rollback. Uh-oh. Yeah, so I was mentioning earlier about how great Karma Cannon is. He makes SP Little Knight. He doesn't use the effect to banish a card because he wants to kill me this turn. Activates that. Set a Karma Cannon. Battle phase, Karma Cannon, goodbye. Yeah, you can keep your SP Little Knight face up. I don't care at all. Okay, they have a Monster Negate and they have an SP Little Knight. Okay, they activated a monster effect. Grass. Ash Blossom? Nope. Okay. I wonder what's going to happen. Okay, so did we not hit a evenly matched? We hit Trap Trick, so we could have evenly matched all but 1 card and no Elemental Burst. Okay, so we could have done evenly for all but 1, but whatever. I guess we're still going to do that. Maybe I was hoping to get them to activate SP Little Knight. But they do during the battle phase, not the main phase. Alright, we got the Light Barrier statue. And obviously, another big bonus to this deck is that we have cards that we can activate from the grave. Okay. Ooh. Alright, so they summon out Promethean Princess, but it doesn't matter. We can Karma Cannon. Okay, hold up. So right here, I think he actually could have won if he had used SP Little Knight to banish itself and this card, then they would have gone over here, and because no cards can be flipped face down, the second feature of Karma Cannon to send all cards that don't get flipped face down to the grave wouldn't have gone into effect. So right there, he actually could have won, but he made a misplay. That's rough, buddy. Alright, but he does have a princess and an SP Little Knight, so that is kind of intimidating. So here's what's nice about Black Goat Laughs, right? Like I mentioned, it's kind of like an imperm. In this case, I activate it while they have an SP Little Knight on the field, and now it's either you activate SP Little Knight to get off the field, because like it's vulnerable, it doesn't do anything, in which case you've activated a monster effect, so now I can draw 2 or steal a monster or whatever with talent. Alright, they do still activate a monster effect. Activate a couple monster effects. So we're going to draw 2 cards plus Diabellstar, and we drew into, what do you know, the ToyBox. Get that back in there, ToyBox. Let's see, where is the Light Barrier? Light Barrier statue's in the grave, so I probably want to send Toy Tank. Yep. Set the Omni Negate. Ooh. In that case, probably set the... Nope. Okay. Yeah, so they're kind of popping off here. I think I had thought that they had already activated Princess this turn, so that was a bit of a mistake. Okay. Oh, I remember this. Okay, so yeah, at this point, I was really screwed. Like, I was just hoping to get a draw 1 and do something. They activate Imperm. They're like, no, you don't get to draw any cards. The problem is because they activate a trap, now we can summon out Paleozoic Marrella, and now they're screwed because I have 2 monsters on the field. Also, Toy Soldier was sent to the grave as cost to do that, and it summons itself back. Get another toy box, do even more stuff if we want. Relinquished Anima, let's steal that card. Yeah. So we were going to steal that. We would make a Light Charmer, steal some card from their grave, Celine, Axis Coat, Talker, all sorts of stuff. Blow up a bunch of cards, attack them for a bunch of life points, and then make like a Ty-PHON at the end of it, maybe. So this deck is kick-ass. Love it. Let's go over the deck profile. It's pretty similar to some of the versions of this deck you've seen in the past. The big difference is that I've replaced Called by the Grave with the Black Goat Laughs. Like, instead of trying to negate Promethean Princess or something, this is a card that is good both while you draw it and also as something gets sent to the grave. If you send it to the grave with like Toon or Diabellstar or Eldlich, then it's basically like as a cost to summon out some card, you also get a negate. So I really like it. I think it has good synergy with kind of a mill trap oriented deck. And then just going over the basics that you probably know. There's the ToyBox package, which is Toy Soldier and Toy Tank, summon themselves out. ToyBox, its effect to either summon or, to either set or destroy is soft once per turn. So drawing 2 of these bad boys enables the full combo where you search out the Light Barrier statue, and then you can make a Bagooska, or you can make a Dugares who gets you a draw 2, or if you're going second, you can make an Exciton Knight, which allows you to quick effect destroy all other cards on the field. It's a solid way to make a comeback if you're struggling with doing that. The value that this gets is not just that you can search out those nice level 4s and the nice floodgate, but it's also that we have a ton of cards that get value off of getting sent to the grave. Like, the whole reason we had this deck in the first place is because Rollback is a great trap that loves getting sent to grave, and Eldlich is a nice package with a lot of traps that like getting sent to the grave. So you have Eldlich, which can send your ToyBox cards to the grave. You have Diabellstar, which can send those to the grave in order to set up an Omni Negate or a going second, a really powerful going second effect. Or it can get sent to the grave by Magician's Souls, which gives you like a draw power, and it gives you like a little going second tool in Relinquished Anima, which can then have an extra deck card for your SP Little Knight, which can then... So basically it's like from Magician's Soul plus like 1 other card, you can steal 1 opponent's monster, banish a second opponent's monster with SP Little Knight, and then you can turn SP Little Knight into Ty-PHON to destroy a 3rd monster and bounce a 4th monster. So off of like a Magician Souls plus like any other random monster, that's like 4 different cards that you eliminate. It's a very strong going second option, while also giving you a lot of consistency with the draws and so on. Diabellstar we've talked about, Eldlich the Golden Lord. It's 3 of these boys because like normally in these decks you only have 2 because he's kind of a brick in your hand, but in this version of the deck he's not a brick, which I think is a lot of fun. Like if you have this plus 1 ToyBox card, specifically the spell, then you can set up like a full, completely lock down your opponent's turn. Lord of Heavenly Prison is nice. We usually do set quite a few traps, so just being able to protect them, and also to, in a crunch, summon him, put him in defense mode, keep yourself alive for that turn, while also getting really powerful follow-up in the form of like a grass looks greener, excuse me, or maybe setting up a ToyBox to give yourself a ton of fuel for the next turn, whatever. Lord of Heavenly Prison is great. You could even just set a trap trick, which can go into literally any trap. So Lord of Heavenly Prison has good synergy with trap decks. It just operates at the same speed, where instead of winning like turn 3 or turn 2, you're more willing to win by turn 5 or turn 6, as long as you like have these really powerful board breakers. The rest of the Eldlich package, obviously, we have the double Huaquero, triple Conk, triple Cursed Eldland, because again, Eldlich, having him in your hand is part of your starter going first, and going second is a decent like interruption. Target a card, send it to grave is never not good. Like, it's always good. Foolish Burial Goods, it can send a rollback, which is awesome. You can copy any of our amazing traps. Rollback is basically the heart and soul of this deck. You've seen many times we use grass to send a rollback plus an elemental burst, so Foolish Burial Goods can just kind of complete the package. Grass is obviously the best card in this deck. Going first, it just gives you like multiple interruptions for your opponent's turn. You can activate this and you can get a draw off of your wanted. It can give you a destroy all cards your opponent controls with this plus rollback. It can give you a monster negate, and it can give you access to things like Diabellstar and Magician Souls if you want to do what you saw in like that 4th, 5th duel, where you're like summoning all these monsters out from the grave and just absolutely popping off. Grass is amazing. Because Grass is amazing, we run 3 copies of Triple Tactics Thrust. It can search out Grass, or if you already have Grass or need something else, you can grab Talent. Talent is sort of like our universal additional board breaker. I could see you replacing this with like Harpy Feather Duster or something, but for now, Talent has been solid. Basically, we go all in on having a bunch of these cards that give you additional draw power without limiting you. Like, normally I think Pot of Extravagance, Pot of Prosperity are really good. As just you play 1 card and then you either draw one of like the next 6 cards you were gonna draw, so basically draw like whatever you need, or just draw 2 of any cards. But because those spell cards limit you from drawing in other ways for the rest of the turn, and we have cards like Magician Souls, which can give you a bunch of draw power, Wanted that gives you additional draw power. We can have other cards like Trap Tantalizing Tune to give you draw power. I just think that the pot cards are, you know, they limit you as much as they help you. Trap Tantalizing Tune, I really like. Obviously, we have a ton of normal traps that we can use as fuel to send to the grave. We love sending cards like Rollback, the Black Goat Laughs, or even an Eldlixir card to the grave because they give you additional fuel, same as Elemental Burst. So there's like 10, okay, so 3, 6, 7, 8. There's like 9 traps that you really want to send to grave, another 3 that you can like get away with that you don't care about, and then the rest are ones that you actually hurt you a bit. I could even see you bumping this up to 2 if you wanted, replacing it with some other card, but for now it's nice. I also really like the graveyard effect, where after you send a bunch of cards with grass, sometimes you do have like all 3 of your Eldlixirs in the grave or something, or after turn 3, all 3 of your Eldlixirs in the grave. giving you one extra round of having your Eldlixir being able to get set off of one of your Golden Land traps is really nice. We've kind of retroactively talked about the rest of the cards as we've gone along. We've talked about how this is part of the Diabellstar package, ToyBox package, Eldlich package. Sort of like Elemental Burst, Triple Marrella, and Triple Rollback are all kind of part of the same package too. This sort of mill trap deck thing. And I think they're great. Marrella is not once per turn. If you just draw one, you can send an Elemental Burst to copy a Karma Cannon or a Trap Trick. If you draw two, then that's guaranteed a rollback plus Elemental Burst. If you drew all three at the same time, then that's kind of pushing it. But I would say that like drawing one card being really good and like adding an extra interruption basically and drawing two of that card just being an extremely powerful interruption instead of like a waste means that I think that having three of these is totally fine. All right, evenly matched. Amazing going second card in this format. Once they have that level 10 that gives you an Omni Negate, some decks like Yubel will be a little bit harder to just evenly matched and instantly beat them, but that just means you have to play around them a bit to get around that one interruption. There aren't a lot of decks right now, like back in the heyday of like Helki Fibrax and Block Dragon, that are like 5 or 6 Omni Negates, at least that I'm seeing. It's usually like 1 Omni Negate or 0 Omni Negates and just like a lot of gas, and we can deal with gas. Trap Trick. A lot of our traps are obviously amazing. Karma Cannon is the best trap that you can activate from your field, like normal trap. It eliminates link monsters, which is great because there's a bunch of really annoying link monsters right now. It doesn't destroy cards. There's a lot of decks right now that like gain advantage off of being destroyed. And you can wait till the battle phase. It's not like Torrential Tribute where you have to activate it when they summon a card. You can choose to activate it whenever you want. So Karma Cannon is amazing, going first, going second, and Trap Trick is just a way to access it, or to access Marrella, or maybe if you're desperate, you can access a Sanguine. Normally the strategy with Trap Trick is again that you just have 2, because you can only activate once per turn, and you really don't want to draw 2 of these, like the same as Eldlich, where you don't want to draw too many of them. But in a 60-card deck, it's a lot less likely to happen than in a 40-card deck. And Trap Trick is just so strong, because of how strong our other traps are, that I'm okay with running Trap Trick at 3. Let's see. Sinful Spoil cards. We talked about Black Goat Laughs. I think it's a cool card. I'm enjoying using it. I like that it's a way to get extra value with the Black Goat Laughs. Solemn Strike, I still enjoy this. There are some times when you do have a board that your opponent has like 2 or 3 Omni Negates in the form of like different monsters, and Solemn Strike just helps you deal with that. Skill Drain, amazing trap, wins games on its own pretty much. You have a Skill Drain plus like a Karma Cannon and you're golden. Alright, Extra Deck. Extra Deck is like super flexible. There's a ton of stuff you could do. Probably the essentials are Bagooska, because you're running these level 4s. I like never make Exciton Knight, so I probably should just cut it. I guess I'm never in a point where I'm so desperate that I need to destroy all cards on the field. But I'm sure if there's like one game where I wish I did have it, then, you know, I'd put it back. But it does feel like Exciton Knight is a bit of extra. Same with Chaos Angel. I like rarely make it, but whenever in order to make Chaos Angel, you use 2 of your level 5 light monsters when they've been summoned. So I really enjoy when I do summon him, but he seems like he's just like kind of extra. Like I bet I could probably replace Chaos Angel and Exciton Knight with both of the level 10 train cards, and I would probably get more value out of them. But, you know, I like them as good options to have. For now, we have this boy, who is basically, you summon him if you have 2 Eldliches, his ability to make one card unaffected is as close as you can get to having these level 10 train cards that actually is like an interruption on your opponent's turn. Like your opponent activates Raigeki and you chain to make yourself immune to Raigeki and all other cards. It's not bad. Zeus, obviously, because we have a ton of XYZ cards that we can go into. Ty-PHON, obviously you can make it with like any card, and tons of our opponent's decks make a bunch of extra deck summons every turn, even on turn like 5. We already talked about Anima. Light and Dark Charmer are mostly ways to get up to Selene. You can make them really easily as long as you have a light monster or a dark monster. And after that, Selene just needs a spellcaster, which is obviously one of the charmers. Selene can summon out Diabellstar, who can search and do her thing. And then you make an access code talker to blow people up. I think the charmers, SP, and Ty-PHON are definitely necessities. Selene into Axis Code Talker is really nice. Like, I would not get rid of it. Selene, honestly, is like more important than Axis Code Talker. Like, I think there's sometimes where I make Selene and then I just want to make SP Little Knight instead of Axis Code Talker. I don't know. Excuse me. Finally, this was the royal rare I got for rooting for Jesse Cotton. You can make it using 2 level 2 monsters, which is obviously your Paleozoic cards. And it basically allows you to 1-turn kill your opponent. You attack, you put a Mosquito counter on your opponent, or Halluc, whatever this thing. And then each time one of your other cards attacks, it inflicts a bunch of damage to your opponent. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you stick around for future videos. We're going to try to climb to Master 1, baby. Let's get the best Eldlich deck possible. See you in the next one. Peace.